Crypto markets are in the green this week, but one token is outshining them all. Welcome to the Daily Forkast March 31st, 2022. I'm Megha Chaddah of Forkast, covering all things blockchain. Trading volume for Zilliqa is through the roof and its price has soared 270% in just a few days, all in response to an announcement over the launch of its Metaverse as a service platform. We'll take a look at that story plus a whole lot more coming up. Let's get you up to speed from Asia to the world.
Join thousands of NFT traders who already start their day on CryptoSlam.
Let's kick off with another crackdown in China. This time it's on digital collectible transactions. The country's most popular instant messaging app, WeChat, has banned accounts belonging to over a dozen NFT marketplaces from the platform, citing prevention of crypto speculation. The small to medium-sized NFT marketplaces involved now display a message from WeChat saying they had no legal permit or license to engage in such businesses. In a statement, WeChat said that the companies must be registered with China's Cyberspace Administration and that only those listed as being compliant can operate on its platform and no resales are permitted. NFTs continue to grow in popularity in China, with investors using resale markets to speculate on the assets, despite warnings in state media against such activities. And over in India, there's been another warning over the risks of cryptocurrencies. This time, it's the country's International Monetary Fund, or IMF Mission chief, who has suggested cryptocurrency poses significant risks to financial stability. According to local media reports, Megha Chaddah said that unless effective regulatory measures are implemented, the crypto assets ecosystem could face serious consumer protection challenges, such as fraud and cyber attacks. India's finance ministry is reportedly in talks with the IMF and World Bank, plus the Reserve Bank of India and the Securities and Exchange Board of India over a regulatory framework for digital assets. Local media cited unnamed government sources, saying the talks are expected to contribute to a consultation paper for drafting the framework over the next 6 months. In its recent working paper, the IMF said it supports regulation of crypto assets after finding that crypto usage is associated with a higher perception of corruption and more intensive capital controls. You can find those stories and lots more at Forkast.News. Over in the markets, Zilliqa is on a roll. The token's price has been on a tear in recent days and gained over 100% in the 24 hours to Thursday morning in Asia. But why? Forkast Lachlan Keller reports.
Zilliqa is a Singapore-based blockchain platform and announced a launch event for its Metaverse as a service platform Metapolis at the end of last week. Since then, the price of its Zilliqa token has soared, gaining almost 103% in the last 24 hours. Its price was just over 20 US cents on Thursday morning in Asia. Metapolis is due to launch publicly at a VIP event in Miami on Saturday, with the company envisioning it as a space where luxury brands and clients can create digital products and economies on top of their traditional market strategies. Zilliqa's head of Metaverse and NFT told Forkast that NFTs are set to become the digital products that will populate the Metaverse, and that it would allow people to view and purchase digital assets in an immersive and engaging experience. Meanwhile, Solana's price also leapt after OpenSea revealed that it is set to integrate the Solana blockchain onto its NFT platform. That saw it hitting its highest price since late January, though it has since fallen back slightly. It was trading at a little over $121 US Thursday morning in Asia. Market leaders Bitcoin and Ethereum are also both looking healthy, making double-digit gains over the past week. For Forkast, I'm Lachlan Keller.
Blockchain Terra buying over $1 billion in Bitcoin since January to back its stablecoin ecosystem. This, as its founder looks to build a $10 billion Bitcoin reserve. While down under, ANZ became the first Aussie lender to mint an Australian dollar stablecoin. It's all a part of the new economy. So let's bring in Mark Lamb, Chief Executive Officer at CoinFlex, a leading crypto derivatives exchange and yield platform, to understand the impact of all these developments. Great to see you again, Mark.
Great to be here.
Mark, to kick it off, let's talk about Terra stocking up on the Bitcoin. The company spent $135 million on it on Monday alone, and some say that that was in response to criticism that its USD stablecoin is not backed by a fiat. What's your take on this move, and does it underscore Bitcoin's position as a reserve digital asset?
I think Terra is a really interesting project. Effectively, they are a stablecoin that is not collateralized with assets worth $1. So they're collateralized with assets that go up and down in price. And so far, that main asset, Luna, has been really on a tear. And so far, that's been a really great thing. As we've seen, the supply of UST or Terra's dollar has only grown, and so it's been a really positive thing as people need to buy Luna to mint UST. The question we have, and the question I think the whole crypto ecosystem is asking itself, is what happens if we go from more UST to being created to UST actually being burned? And in that scenario, I think you could definitely have a scenario where Luna price goes down, and then you have these concerns around the full collateralization. And I think that's why they're buying this Bitcoin. They want to give the collateral surrounding the ecosystem something else that isn't their own governance token, Luna. But I still do think, they probably would have been better off holding dollar assets. Really, they have dollar liabilities. For our own stablecoin, we're really backing it with good collateral. We're backing $1 of FlexUSD with $1 of repo in CoinFlex's ecosystem. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how that experiment pans out.
Now, over in Australia, ANZ, the country's third largest lender, minted $30 million of Australian dollar stablecoin, even as it made a landmark payment using the digital dollar. Rather interesting that financial entities are doing this, even though the Reserve Bank of Australia remains skeptical of the digital currency for general payments.
There's gaming, there's NFTs. We're really excited about all of these sectors of crypto. And crypto is now big enough that there's multiple sectors inside it. It's not just a small industry anymore. But the stablecoin side of the industry is really one where I think we're definitely going to see 100x growth in usage and market value in the next 3 to 5 years. My conviction about that is close to 100%. It's like a certainty at this point. And yeah, banks are minting them because it makes sense to do. It makes sense to use these things as a payment instrument on a blockchain rather than relying on the Swift network, which kind of costs $25, is full of manual processes that get, botched all the time, and is extremely slow. And when you're doing business, when you're trying to lend, when you're trying to transact internationally, each day time is money, right? And so getting that done in 15 seconds or 1 second is infinitely more valuable to you than 1 day or 3 days or something like that.
We've increasingly been hearing commentary about how Swift is an antiquated system and we need better processes in place. So talking about how governments are approaching stable coins, media reports suggest that we could be hearing of a new crypto regulatory plan from Rishi Sunak, the UK's finance chief, soon. While the details are rather thin, what would you hope to hear on the stablecoin front? And could we be hearing of a digital pound, maybe?
Well, I think it's tough in the UK. The UK has been, not the friendliest towards crypto. But I think in the US, the Fed has made a number of very positive statements around stablecoins specifically. So, the UK is trying to do all sorts of things. But the US just continues to lead the charge when it comes to stablecoin regulation and kind of stablecoin activity. And that's why the bulk of the stablecoins are domiciled and regulated there. But we are seeing this from everywhere in the world. Everyone wants their currency to be more widely adopted, and so for the UK, it's a no-brainer. For China, they're looking at DCEP. For the Eurozone, they're going to be looking at this stuff too. And having your businesses, having your economy able to transact at faster speeds, it's a win-win for everyone.
Well, so far we've been hearing of stable coins being developed in silos by each country. Would we possibly ever see one currency that towers them all? a lot yet left to be discovered in the world of stablecoins. Thanks for a great conversation, Mark.
Thank you.
And that's the daily forecast from our vantage point right here in Asia. For more, visit Forkast.News. I'm Megha Chaddah. Until next time.